Hey everybody, it's time to ask me any questions, and I got a whole bunch of questions from you on the YouTube posts and stuff like that. So let's dive right in. I'll keep it brief because I guess this could easily get very long. There's around 50 or 60 questions. We'll start with my Patreons. Or patrons, I don't know what to call them. Anyways, Job says, what's your take on the influence of progressive rock metal bands these days? Do you think it needs more exposure? I think it desperately needs more exposure. You know, what's getting all the exposure is all this I've Got Talent shows, you know, people with a microphone basically doing karaoke and glorified karaoke, and that sucks. I don't like any of that stuff. I mean, occasionally it's amusing to watch, but it's entertainment. It's not real music. It's not the music industry. So progressive rock and metal, it's going to have to keep working and just grow and tour, and this pandemic's really putting a quash on that. We need to have touring bands because that's how you spread music, is going seeing a band live and saying, I love these guys. Aki H, who is the best guitarist for you? Pretty easy to answer. I was always enamored by Steve Howe of Yes. I love Alex Lifeson of Rush. And now I'm becoming quite a fan of Adam in Tool, but there are so many guitarists. Going back more to my roots, Alan Holdsworth was a big one. I mean, even Eddie Van Halen was a good influence on me. Jennifer, what's she? Haha, no. She said boxers or briefs. Haha, no. I don't really want to know that. Good, but I do want to know your favorite comedians and your favorite comedy. She's more or less asking. What cracks me up? What's my laugh to you'll puke? I've never had to laugh that much, thank goodness. I wouldn't want to laugh that much. I'm huge, you're right, you picked all the right ones. You mentioned Weird Al. I love Weird Al, I love Monty Python, I love Second City, SCTV, that is. I like the classic Saturday Night Live. I love a lot of Canadian comedians, like Jim Carrey is awesome. There's too many to list, but yeah, absolutely. I love all the comedy. It's big part of my life. Let's go to Ninjax. What are some of your favorite guilty pleasure songs? Well, Dancing Queen by ABBA, for sure. ABBA? ABBA? I've never called them ABBA before. That's weird. ABBA. What other guilty pleasures? I don't know. I like Enya. Is that guilty pleasure? I mean, I don't feel too guilty about what I'm not ashamed of different stuff I like. I like a lot of music, so. What's your favorite concert that you've attended? Well, I haven't attended a whole lot of concerts, but a surprisingly good concert was The Fix. I saw The Fix play. I did not expect them to be so good live. They were just mind-blowing. One of the best concerts ever, The Fix. And one of your favorite concerts? Well, I saw Yes, and I saw Rush, so they're definitely one of my favorites. And I saw Saga as well. That was one of my first live bands to see live. They were great. Proud Heretic, what's your favorite Tool song, favorite album, and what's your favorite Bandmade song that you've heard so far? Well, my favorite Tool song, I guess Lateralus. I just was playing that. I just did a second annual react to that because I hadn't listened to it for a year because I didn't want to cry. I was afraid to cry to it. But anyways, I reacted again to it. Favorite Tool song, favorite album. You know, the Tool songs, I've all heard them and reacted to them in pieces. So the only album I reacted to in full was Undertow, and I really like Undertow. I would love to get that on vinyl and enjoy that one live. And as far as your favorite Bandmade song you've heard so far, I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. I've only heard what I've reacted to, and that's about 8 songs. And the instrumentals, actually, are my favorite. I love the instrumentals. I'm just into instrumentals. What can I say? John W. says, favorite band you have discovered doing these reacts? Well, Tool, I would say. That was the biggest influence. But there's been a lot of them. I've really enjoyed discovering Sown and Leprous. There's a ton of them. Basically, almost everything I react to my channel, I'm really enjoying discovering all this stuff. Chris Allen says, if you could meet with yourself at the age of 30, what advice would you give yourself then? Oh, my biggest advice would be Not that I didn't follow my advice for the most part, but spend lots of time with your kids, and don't squander any moments with your children. I think that's the most important thing, and your significant other, of course. Julian Slavin, question: what are your top Rush songs? Can you answer with as many as you like? Lots of laughs, or laugh out loud. Sorry. My top Rush songs. Oh man, that's hard to say. Can I just pick an album instead? Like Hemispheres, I really love. Moving Pictures, I really love. And then I just feel like listening another 10. So, okay, we'll just stick with that. Daniel Cooper. As far as questions, number 1, what is your name? Well, my name is Dean Wolfe. You knew that, didn't you? What is your quest? And what is your favorite color? Okay, what is your quest? That sounds like gamer language. Maybe you guys understand what that means in gaming and stuff. I don't do a lot of gaming. I've done some Minecraft with my kids and maybe a little bit of this or that. I've done this Crucible. I played with them once or twice. So I don't know about quest. I don't know what that means. I guess quest. Okay, if I have a quest in life, it would be to find out the meaning of life and how to communicate with the dead. What is your favorite color? It was orange when I was a kid, and then as I grew up, orange seemed a little more garish. It's a little too bright and crazy. Orange as a color. I mean, I even had a room where I painted one of the walls orange instead of the whole room. But even that, after a couple of years, it was too much. We had to paint over it. It was just too bright a color. So I do love orange. I guess my favorite color is green. Daniel Cooper, would love to see you react to Moon Safari or Beardfish or Unitopia. Okay. Yeah, just leave your comments about bands you want me to check out. 3 prog bands that are highly underappreciated. Well, it's not really a question. Okay. Paschalis Aurora Borealis asks, official, what is the one genre that you can't stand? I'm sure that even the most open-minded people hate one genre or musical style at least. You know, I'm very open with music. The first thing that comes to mind is hip-hop. I'm so not interested in hip-hop. I mean, I hear it on the radio. You can't avoid it, right? And all along, it's been in there. And I've actually heard, I remember once I was listening to a college radio, and they were playing hip-hop that was Christian hip-hop, and I actually liked it. I like the hip-hop when they have real musicians rather than samples and stuff. I like hearing real musicians. That's one of the reasons I don't like hip-hop. But not to cut down hip-hop, you know, I'm just saying it just doesn't appeal to me. I'm not saying I hate it. But Brandon asks, what songs or albums have grown on you the most since listening to them for the channel? Gosh, that's a really hard question to ask. I would say probably Tool. Tool has worked its way into my soul a lot. And ironically, too, Bandmade I've really enjoyed, and surprisingly, they've grown on me. If you're going to say albums that have grown on you, they were songs, not albums. I would say a lot of the Japanese stuff that I'm finding, you know, like... what are they called? Ninja Isu. You know, I'm surprised. I just had no idea Japan had all this great hard rock and progressive rock going on. James Suckanek, what are some of your favorite non-progressive bands, genres, or songs? Well, I was into a lot of indie rock after I left prog rock, which I can't stand now. Because I don't know, indie rock just... I'm very impatient with it now. I like some of your favorite non-progressive. I love classical. Oh, soundtracks. You're going to see that in an upcoming video when I do my vinyl haul. I do remember that I used to buy soundtracks. It's one of the first things I bought albums too. Soundtrack to Star Wars, soundtrack to Close Encounters, The Third Kind. And there's been lots of great soundtracks, and I love soundtrack music. I love ambient music. Job Lopez, hey, you already asked that question. I already did. Okay. Anthony Rosado, what is your first concert? How was it? And what was the last one you've been to? My first concert was Saga. I saw them in St. Catharines in 1983. I would have been 14 or something like that. And I loved it. They were really good. They were hot at that time. How was it? Yeah, it was a great show. I was the only one in the audience going like this. I guess people were still a little conservative, and I had no issues shaking around and getting into it. What was the last concert you've been to? Probably Pat Metheny. You know, jazz fusion, great guitars. One of the great guitarists on the planet, actually. One of the best. I love Pat Metheny. Grace Under Pressure 84. Dean, wanted to say thanks for all the great Rush guitar lessons, in addition to reactions to videos. What are your favorite Rush albums? Oh, I already kind of tackled that before. But thank you for your appreciation of what I do. Robert Walton, please review the T-Club's Creature. It's a modern-day progressive rock masterpiece. Okay. Rasta Darren, hi Dean, congrats on your React channel. I know Rasta, he's been on the comment boards a lot about, he loves guitar lessons and stuff. Could you please do a song lesson for The Body Electric by Rush from their Grace Under Pressure album? Thanks. Yeah, I'll just make a quick comment that all of my Patreon supporters have all been about Reacts. No one's asking me to do guitar lessons, so they take priority. So if I have time on top of what I do with the Patreon, then I can do lessons. Now there is an option to join Patreon for guitar players too, and you can request guitar lessons. So if you want to get a lesson, join the Patreon. Subscribe. And, David Balak says, "Hey Dean, hope you're doing well. What's your most valued musical experience?" My most valued view. Oh, okay. It was definitely when I was younger. My brother, I don't know who bought Tubular Bells. One of us bought Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells. My brother would go and put the album on, and he would turn out the lights, and I would lie down on my back, just in the dark, pitch black, and he would put the music on, and he would sort of start you through, like almost like guide you through a journey. He's like, oh, now you're walking here, you're going to go through this cave, and you're going to start flying, you grow wings or whatever. And he called it a psychodrama. And eventually we had like 5 or 6 people in the rug lying down, and he'd do this, and it was becoming quite popular in our neighborhood. So that was one of my most valued musical experiences. That was fun. Garrett Simpson, hey Dean, love your Rush lessons. Are you planning on doing a video for Digital Man solo? Well, I've already explained about the guitar lesson stuff. It's not as high a priority, but it probably will happen. I'm just not as inspired about guitar lessons, frankly, lately. But you know how it is. Inspiration strikes, and you move on and do different things. John Woodbury, hi Dean. Would love to know your favorite Pink Floyd era, please? Well, I love "Wish You Were Here." I love Pink Floyd's "Dark Side of the Moon." I also do like some of the 80s stuff. I just picked up the Pulse, the record box set, which I'll display in an upcoming video. Louis Garcia, hey girl, Louis, scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate Steve Morse High Tension Wires album? 1989, I'll never forget it. Well, Steve Morse is a fantastic guitarist. I knew him through buying one of his albums of, what was that band he had? Shoot, I can't remember. Anyways, I love Steve Morse, but I don't know that one in particular. Horn Swoop, hey Dean, what's your favorite guitar and preferred guitar string gauge? Well, I've been, a friend of mine showed me a gauge. It was a 8.08 thin string. Usually 10. I usually do 9 or 10 as the top E string, but I've been trying 8 and even 7. I think you can get the thinnest of ever, and it sort of changes your playing style a little bit, but it sounds great. I like somewhat thin. Blamhoff, what is the first album you bought? Mine was Deep Purple in rock when I was 11. Great channel you have. Thank you. Well, Blamhoff, first album I bought, I don't remember exactly. It was probably the Beatles. It was probably Sgt. Pepper's. I was a Beatle fan when I was from 5 years old. Huge Beatle fan. We already had albums. So when I had my own record player when I was about 8 years old, probably, I went and bought the Beatles, the Blue album, the Double Blue album, the Double Red album, and Sgt. Pepper's, and I think I got Star Wars soundtrack as well. Martin Leach, hi Dean, new subscriber here. Can I ask, will you be doing another IQ reaction? Hey, Martin, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. And I will be doing another IQ reaction. When? I don't know. You should see the list of music I have to get to. So it'll happen. Hardy, what do you think about Bandmade? Well, it's pretty much all over my channel whenever I react to them. I like Bandmade a lot. Gappa Gappa, hello, can you react to Words Darker Than Their Wings, live at Royal Hall by Alter Bridge? Thanks. Well, for sure, I'll put that on my list. KCS 2477, question, will you do more Swans after The Glowing Man? If so, I'd recommend To Be Kind, thanks. Yeah, for sure, I'll be doing Swans forever, I love Swans. The Lebowski 5 says, will you consider doing any type of music like ambient music, electronic, IDM, I don't even know what IDM is, more post-rock, pop, or alternative pop, hip-hop, folk, jazz, singer-songwriter, etc., or do you prefer to stay primarily with progressive rock or prog-based music? Yeah, I am sticking with prog, but when I say prog-related, I like to explore some hard rock, some pop rock even, some ambient electronic, yes, post-rock, absolutely, pop, and alternative pop, yes. Hip-hop, not likely, unless there's something really different that I've never heard before that will appeal to me. Folk, not so likely, but I mean, there is such a thing as folk prog. But thanks for your question. Just keep coming back to the channel. Someday I may change my mind and just do the whole thing from a different vantage point. Who knows? Samurai number 1. Saw your reaction between the buried and me. React to this if you dare. And he gave me a song to react to. Okay. Louis Carrasquel. Do you play other instruments besides guitar, like bass, drums, or keyboards? Okay. My first instrument was keyboard. My grandmother sort of got me started playing piano when I was 8. And I played piano for 2 years, and then I got into guitar. And then I got into bass. I actually played bass in a band for a year. We actually performed, live and did gigs, so I did bass. I've done guitar. I've played in my own bands and other bands, and jazz fusion and rock and pop and cover bands. I can also play drums. I recorded my own drums. I had drum set last place I lived. I can play violin a little bit. Cello is probably the one I'm better at. Violin I find very tiny. Cello I like to play. I took it up in high school and I still play it. What else is there? Basically anything with strings. I have mandolins I could play. But of course it's not like I'm dedicated 100% to each instrument. You can't be. Guitar is my main thing. And cello would be probably my secondarily main thing. Cygnus X1, please react to some live Incubus. Not progressive, but a great band with outstanding vocals. Well, okay, possibly I'll do that someday. Maynard's Spaceship, a regular on the channel for sure. Do you have a P.O. box? No, just my address. Just email me and I'll give you my address if you need something or want to send me something. That's great, appreciate it. Would you consider one? If not, no. I looked into it. They're really expensive. It's not worth it. I need to send some avocado toast. Okay, I know where that joke comes from. Avocado toast, great. Send it, man. Make sure it's in Tupperware or else it'll go moldy. Okay, we're near the end here. What is your favorite car that you have driven? Well, I drove a really nice 7 Series BMW once for a friend. I had to drive his car, and God, it was a nice car. It was a beautiful car. How are you doing? Silent Wood 207 asks, how are you doing? And I know that's a loaded question. Either you don't know me and you're just saying that for fun and you just said this silly question, or you already know about my personal disaster that I had 3 months ago, personal tragedy, which our family experienced. And concerning to that, pretty good, I would say. I have. Well, actually, even yesterday was a real dark day. I have these days where the world is black and dark and dark. That's what we'll say. But those days, at the most, maybe once a week, I'll have those kinds of days. Hopefully, it'll get less and less. So pretty good, actually. Really, considering I think I'm doing pretty good. Louis Carrasquel, a difficult one. You're going to have to be very objective. Geddy Lee or Chris Squire? Well, okay. Here's the thing. I adore Chris Squire. I love his bass playing. Geddy Lee, I absolutely adore him and his bass playing. Now, Chris Squire died a few years ago. I did not cry. I was surprised at myself. I thought I might have cried, but I didn't cry. If Geddy Lee died, I bet you I'd cry. Because I cried when Neil Peart died. I cried several times. I was crying for a whole week. I don't know why. I had no idea that I was so attached to get to Neil Peart. Wow. It's still. I guess partly because he's born in the same city as me. I grew up in St. Catharines. That's where he's from. Some of his family lived there. I know. Never ran into him though. But my brother may very well have sat in one of his school desks because he went to the same school for a while. So Chris Squire, Geddy Lee, probably Geddy Lee, just because I feel a more personal connection to Geddy, and pray it doesn't happen. But someday, of course, Geddy Lee is going to pass away, and I'll probably cry like a baby. So it's a weird and loaded question. Okay, last question. Jensen G, Nirvana or Guns N' Roses? Oh, definitely Nirvana. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Guns N' Roses. I'm not sure what the big thing is with that band, to be frank. I like some of their stuff. But Nirvana, for me, is just... I really miss Kurt. I did not cry when Kurt committed suicide, but... or whether he did. There's question marks about that in my mind. But I so miss Kurt. Like, I really... like, if I'm in the afterlife, if I'm going to die and go to the afterlife, and if there's concerts, Jimi Hendrix... John Lennon and stuff like that. Kurt Cobain would be one I would definitely want to see, if we're going to talk about people who've passed on. Anyways, thank you so much for that. Thanks for all your questions. I hope you enjoyed that video. I sure did. It was fun, and we'll do it again sometime. And that's it. Spiraling out as Dean. Take care, everybody. Bye.